Okay, on exterior renderings and nighttime renderings and things. Um, a couple of things. One thing you're gonna, well, you can see I may be repeating myself. I had to redo the second video. Um, the audio didn't come in on it for some reason first go around, so I'm having to redo it. So I may repeat a couple of things. You can see I added some more street lights here along the front, and I added these wall pack lights outside the building just to give us a little more light when we do a nighttime rendering. Um, for your excuse me, for your daytime renderings, it's fine to leave the the windows the way they are. But for your nighttime renderings, we want to make a change. And what I'm trying to do is cycle through and get the actual glass pane. There we go. And I want to edit that and change the material. I changed it to glass. And then I went in and edited the appearance of it. The color of this color gray is fine, or you can leave it a bronze color, it'd be fine. But we want to turn on transparency and make it, like 80% um, transparent works pretty good. You could go a little higher, that'd be fine. Um, and this will allow the lighting to show through the window, because if you just leave it as the storefront glazing, as is the norm material, the glass the lighting will not penetrate through the glass. It's not transparent. Okay, so that's one change you're going to have to make in order to do your nighttime renderings. Excuse me, for the light to shine outside the building. And I would recommend setting up a separate camera um, onto the outside instead of you can do a 3D for your whole site, but then once you move your view, the whole thing changes. So I would recommend setting up a couple of extra views on the exterior and naming them, and a couple of nighttime settings. Let's go into render, and of course, like I think I said before, on your scheme, if it's an exterior camera, you want an exterior lighting scheme. If it's camera is inside, use interior. Okay, so I can show you a couple of different things on this. And we can set your time. You can set it, 8 p.m. and it'll give you like an evening sunset look. If you go somewhere after 10 p.m., it'll give you a total dark night look. Okay. And I made a change on my lights. I Because we're turning things on and off here, I created two groups. I just went new groups and created an interior and an exterior group. And then what you do is they're all here under ungroup to start with, but you just click one and then shift and click the range and you go move to a group and put it into a group. And this makes it easy to turn them on and off, because you don't want your exterior lights on when you're doing a daytime rendering. Okay. So let me show you a couple of runs that I did. Okay, so here was exterior daylight of the whole site, and you see the grass doesn't look that great, but this is a draft setting. So with a um, higher quality, higher resolution, it would look a little better. I ran this one on draft just to hurry it up. Um, and here's the nighttime. Now I did have to adjust the exposure on this one, because when it first comes out, it's just almost totally dark. So I adjusted the exposure a little bit so that I've got, lighting from the building. You can see into the building. You can see a little bit of the street lights and the exterior lights. Excuse me. Here's another one closer up. And here you can see you won't see the background of clouds um, unless your view is kind of looking up. So you can see I had the same background set on these, but because we're not looking up, they're not really showing up. But here's an evening scene. I think I had it set for like 8 p.m., getting some sunset there on the right and being able to see into the building. And here's from the other corner of the building with a daytime, and you can see the interior lights are on inside the building there. So, all right, so what you're going to do is you're going to do 4 renderings, 2 interior, 2 exterior. One of each of those will be a daytime, and one will be a nighttime. Okay, and you can kind of pick your room or your views, just kind of play with it, get something that looks, kind of nice presentation wise. And as you're once you get it figured out, what you're gonna do, and run it, run a draft setting on it, and then run a medium, see how it looks, and then go with a higher. If you can do the high quality, um, it'll look better. It'd be less pixelated and stuff. That'd be great. But then after you've run it, save it to your project. Well, adjust your exposure, of course, but save it to your project, and then do an export, and that will save it as a JPEG image, and then that's what you'll turn into me in Blackboard. And if you got questions, problems, issues, shoot me an email. Okay.